What is up, humans of the earth? It is I, Brilscheme, and like Mead many years ago, I am proud to admit that today, I too have outsmarted a hacker. May 5th, 2022, 5 p.m. local gamer time. I hit up my boy, PKBoyTTV64, if he wants to hit up some worldwides and, well, farm some VR. Despite his European sleep schedule, he said yes, and we were in the clear. Since we were talking in his server, other people began to join the call, and I decided to share my screen so they could see what all the hype was about. 2.5 hours later, 6:10, local gamer time. PKBoy leaves the worldwide, but stays in the call, and during his last goodbyes, the Nintendo track known as Peach Beach got picked. I had just gotten a new BRSTM because I'm working on my new pack, and I wanted him to hear it, so I asked if he could stay around for one more race so he could listen to the song. While I was screen sharing, someone else in the call pointed out that the milliseconds on the timer were stuck at 0.035. Earlier that day, I had just watched my friend Izza's video on encountering 2 hackers in an RT Worldwide lobby just the same as mine. And his millisecond digits were also stuck at 0.035, so naturally I connected the dots together and assumed that there was a hacker in my lobby. The only evidence against this was my clean front run and the fact that the other person in the voice call said that it's probably just someone lagging on Dolphin, which is an emulator, and you probably already know what that is. Leaving call with an answer I was satisfied with, and VR to farm, I continued playing, and the next race I noticed something out of the ordinary. A successful front run on Toad's Factory up until Act 2 was broken by a Blue Falcon player in a star, blazing past me and dodging a blue shell that was soon to follow. As they passed me, I noticed their star effect flickering, an effect that could only be produced by spamming stars rapidly. Turns out my friend from before was wrong, and there was a hacker on the loose. It turns out he had a lot more tricks up his sleeve than just the star, but I didn't know that, as it was only 6:27 p.m. local gamer time. After a successful front run on the Delfino Square race that followed, I had built a psychological profile of this hacker man. Every race, he would alternate between trying and then memeing. I don't know what he was doing while memeing, because no one was spinning out, so he wasn't trolling anybody, but since he had memed on the Delfino Square race, the BC3 race that was soon to follow, he was going in full sweat mode, and so was I. The race had started not 2 seconds ago, and he was already in a star, making no attempt to hide his hacks. He almost hit me at the start. From that first set, I pulled triple green. I pulled him out, and somebody tried to red me immediately after. Luckily, once the hacker had gained a fair bit of time on me, he deactivated his star, probably out of cockiness. I had 2 greens, and thanks to his outside drift, I hit him with the first one, and then he slid right into the second one that had just bounced off of a wall. This had given me an opportunity, and since he was opting out of using any other items, aside from hacking stars the whole race, I had a fair bit of ground over this cheating man. Unfortunately, I was only able to capture the first and last 30 seconds of the race because I wasn't actually recording, and instead, I was using something in OBS called Replay Buffer, which, when you press a certain hotkey, saves the last 30 seconds of your gameplay. But by lap 3, the hacker had already taken back his lead. But luckily, sometime during that time, I also managed to pull a lucky second place shroom. Approaching the shortcut, I knew exactly what I had to do, and if I had failed the shortcut, then, well, you probably wouldn't be seeing this video right now. Being ahead of this guy felt like being ahead of the world record on a baby booster. As long as there was no shock, I could actually manage to beat him. I was almost at the line, and then the POW came, and I was nervous that he would gain time because of his infinite star power. I actually managed to beat him, and I immediately took to my DMs with TTV PKBoy64, and during his last moments of consciousness for the day, I told him what had happened, and he congratulated me. And that's the story of how I got complimented by a former RT Tier 5 player. And as for the hacker who was supposed to meme next race, he showed me his true power, and for the next few races, flexed on the entire room using bullet bill hacks. After this race, I had had time to set up my recording software and start recording, in mediocre quality, what I could of this room experience. Nothing beat the BC3 race, but in the race after, he was a lap ahead using bill hacks and got out of his build just to catch me in his blue shell explosion. And even though it was just bad driving on my part, I would like to think that it was his way of getting revenge. Nothing notable really happened after that. Mr. Nobu joined the room, and a few races later, my controller told me that it was time to leave the room. But I stayed so I could farm the hacker man. But unfortunately, he left the race after. And just as I suspected, immediately after, the digits on the timer started working normally. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this new style of video, and if I run into anybody else that's interesting on the WeemFi servers, I might make a video about it if I feel like constantly using replay buffer and opening my recording software. As for the hacker himself, I don't know if he got banned or if he just left because he was bored, but I do know one thing, and that is that the fact that I beat a hacker in Mario Kart will be on every job application I fill out from now on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next week.